Good evening. My name is Shakayla Terry, and this is Mike. Our members, Andrew and AG, will be meeting us for the question and answering session. Over the past 2 years, I have been assessing the sanitation conditions in a place that is the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. However, their hearts are the richest in the spaces Lake High, Haiti. Currently speaking, Lake High lacks the sanitation infrastructure and resources. And in these pictures in the PowerPoint show the current means of disposal for sanitation include dumping it in the ocean or in culverts, which is then being introduced into the environment. We know this is not good because in 2010, there was a cholera epidemic that swiped the nation of Haiti, killing thousands. And one obtains cholera by congesting contaminated waste or food with human waste. With that being said, BASH has identified an agricultural orphanage named Project Espoir, which means Project Hope. And we found a sanitation technology that will be able to work here. However, it's currently in existence but has not worked due to the lack of education and empowerment. Currently speaking, 7 million people in Haiti lack access to sanitation services. Of that million, 90% of areas like Lake High lack access to sanitation services. So it is the goal of BASH, with the help of resources, education, and empowerment, to incorporate a working sanitation technology for this orphanage that then could be adapted to the region of Lake High.
So you may be asking yourselves, so what exactly is a biodigester? So a biodigester is a vessel that takes in human and animal waste and converts it into methane fuel, which can then be used for refrigeration, heating, and cooking, as well as fertilizer that can be used in agriculture. Now, our plan is actually coming in 3 phases. So phase 1 is about assessment. We want to find out the condition of that biodigester at the orphanage. We want to see if it's viable to move forward with that and repair it and re-implement it. And if not, we are going to come up with a proposal for a new biodigester that we can install on site. We also, while we're there in Haiti, we want to talk to the people at Project Hope. We want to get their opinions on where this could best be implemented at the site. And phase 2 is going to piggyback off of phase 1. That's going to be the actual implementation. So that means procuring supplies, procuring equipment, and actually making the repairs or the building of the new biodigester to bring this technology there. Phase 3 is sustainability, and that's going to be very important. So what we want to do is create a permanent user manual in French and Creole that's available for the people so that they can repair and operate the vessel appropriately. And we also want to designate specific personnel on the ground at Project Hope who will be in charge of the biodigester. We'll make sure that it's operating properly. A big piece of that also is going to be the Haiti Development Studies Center, which has a permanent footprint in Lake High, Haiti, and they can go out and make assessments and reports, and they can act as a communication conduit so that we can make sure that everything is running along smoothly. So we're asking the Difference Maker program for $5,600 so that we can go down, make the assessment, and complete phase 1. And to let you know, we're all seniors, but I will be on campus for 3 more years. Shakila is completing her Master's of Public Health. She'll be here for a couple more years, and we have all pledged to see this project through to the end. So with that, we humbly ask you to help us as we try to get going on the first steps of this project, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
We'll have 5 minutes of questions from our judges.
Yeah, Rich Miner had a question. So can you just maybe overview the cost of the materials to build one of the biodigesters, and also are there any specific skills needed to make one and to site it? And it looks like you were prepared for my question.
Certainly. So we're prepared with preliminary budgets for both the repair, and this is for the building of a new biodigester. So the engineering that goes into that, we've actually been exposed to. I'm a chemical engineering major, and AG is a chemical engineering major as well. We've taken graduate coursework in bioreactor engineering, and so we do have some background in the theoretical aspects of it, but this would obviously be our first implementation of it. But the equipment itself is not that complicated. It would be a matter of procuring it, as I said, organizing and getting it all installed, and the sizing and the materials are going to depend some on how much waste is going to be going into it. So this is really where the assessment becomes important, because we need to know what the inputs are going to be, and we can gauge what some of the output might project to be.
Great.
Hi, Lorna Boucher. What are some of the big variables that you are expecting to have to tackle in your assessment phase, and how what are the implications of some of those unknowns
So are you asking about technical variables or just overall?
overall?
Well, there's a number of variables. So with the existing biodigester, one of our concerns is that it may not have had enough substrate, enough waste going into it to make it a viable application of the technology. So we want to see if it needs to be in a better location, or if there's a way that we can bring more waste to it to get it operating at optimal capacity, either through piping or things like that. But there are a number of variables. There are things like, as far as technical challenges, the gas that's produced by it needs to be scrubbed by basically you can do that even with steel wool, but we need to come up with implements for that. The technology all exists, the engineering has already been done on these kinds of things. It's just a matter of applying it in this particular application, but we feel it's well within our abilities.
Mark, when you first mentioned that in the report that you didn't think there was enough usage, is it because there's not enough people there, or that people aren't using it?
Did you want to take?
So when the biodigester was built at the orphanage, a non-governmental organization built it, but they left the orphanage staff out of the building of it, so they had no way of knowing what the biodigester was, what the use of it for, or how to even work it. So with that being said, there was no way of, it never was able to work due to the lack of education and empowerment, because people provided the biodigester for them as opposed to having them learn about the technology while it was being built.
I have a little bit of a chicken or the egg question. I'm curious, what came first, the technology or the sensitivity towards Haiti?
I would say my experience in Haiti and the impact that it had on me, being able to assess the challenges faced in a public health lens, that definitely was the reason prior to the technology.
What do you think the overall time horizon is for this project? And do you expect, it's a two-part question, and do you expect to use this first site as a sort of launch pad for a larger effort?
So the timeline is that each phase we project to take a period of 1 year. It's going to take some time after we make the assessment to do the calculations and then to go back and re-implement it, because we're all going to be working and in school and everything. Your second part of your question was big picture expansion. So because this is an agricultural teaching orphanage, the nice thing about that is when you're trying to implement a new technology in a new area, people need to see that it works. People need to have interactions with it, know that it's going to be something that could function, and then they can adapt it and take it with them to new areas. So as the individuals at the orphanage grow up with this implement on site, they'll at least be exposed to it. They'll know about it, and they'll know that it can be implemented sustainably using low-cost equipment.
And I came from Malaysia. Malaysia is still developing country. We still have a city, but we still have many rural area in the places. So if the technology that we made here is successful, I'm planning to bring it to my country and implement it there as well. So it'll be like more global, not just Haiti. Thank you.
We got time for one more question. Time's up.
You had the term flying toilet in your presentation. I just want to say I'm not going to ask what that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, biodigester aided solution in Haiti.